Welcome back, toy fans, to episode 213 of Reynolds Reviews, and on today's episode we're introducing yet another new toy line into the collection room. Cue the march. Welcome back everyone. Now, like I said in the intro, today we are introducing yet another new toy line to the collection room. It's going to be roughly the fourth new toy line that I've showed in recent months, and there's plenty more coming as well. If you follow me and you follow the channel closely, you will know the romance of a new line at the moment is just intoxicating. I'm adding so many new lines to the collection. Every time I add a new one, I convince myself that that's it, and then I see something else and I add another. And space just isn't stopping me from doing that. I have no room at the moment, but it's just not a good enough reason to stop me from buying these new lines. But not only are we adding a new line into the collection room, I've also got a couple of very generous gifts to show you as well. So let's waste no more time and show you what I'm adding to the collection room this week.
Batman's battle against crime never ends, and now you can bring the action home.
Batman, haha, you missed.
Yeah, but I only missed once.
You can't escape, Joker. Just watch if you can.
You won't be alone for long.
And in the Batcave,
No criminal can hide from Batman. Batman, gotta run to jail.
each item sold separately from Toy Biz.
Okay folks, so as you can see, I have started collecting the Toy Biz Batman line, and there's only one place to start, and we're going to start with Batman himself. Now I need to give a massive thank you before I carry on to our Steve, once again better known as Derby Collector. He sent me this as a gift. He knew I didn't have it. I had no clue this was coming. The package just turned up one day and I knew it was from Steve. Had no idea what was in it, and I opened it up and this guy was in there and I was absolutely blown away. So yeah, struggling to get this guy. I managed to pick up Joker at NEC. But look at this. Now, I didn't have these personally when I was a kid, but the connection I have with them is my cousin used to have all these. So I remember going to his house and playing with them. So I do have a connection to them, even though I didn't have them myself. But I absolutely love these figures, and especially love those card backs. I mean, look at that card back. I absolutely love the gold background. I think it works so well. You know, there's not a huge amount of detail on them, but I love the images on the side. I think that massive Batman logo works so well, and that gold background, I just think it looks absolutely superb. And then we've got Batman in the bubble there with his Batarang and his grapple gun, and I just think these are so wicked. But they get even better on the back. And there we go, so there's the back, and we've got all that lovely detail on the back there. We've got a few images down the side of other things that were available, other characters, other vehicles, even the Batcave at the bottom. We've got Batman there. Now the sun has faded this a little bit, but it certainly doesn't detract from the image. And then we've got a little bio at the bottom there. It just looks so good. I absolutely love these cards. So yeah, thank you again, Steve. I think this guy is absolutely awesome. So glad to get him into my collection. But let's take a look at him out of the packaging. And there we go, folks. So there is Batman himself in all his glory, and I think these figures look absolutely wicked. This one is in exceptional condition. Once again, I got this off Steve. I did pay for it on this occasion, guys, but yeah, this one is wicked. His bat sign looks beautiful on his chest. That's often rubbed off, but he's fantastic, and I'm really pleased to get him into my collection. So there's various face sculpts on this. Now, I don't recall this guy looking very much like Michael Keaton. It is based on the '89 Batman movie. Don't much look like Keaton, but there was a few face sculpts when this guy came out. There's two particular ones on the screen. You can see one is got a rounded chin, one's got more of a square chin, and the eyes are definitely bigger on the one on the right. But I've only got one. I'm quite satisfied with that. Well, I've got two with the carded one, but this guy's great. Now, he's got a few features that come with him. He's got a retractable belt, so the belt pulls out and acts like a grappling hook, and it can pull himself up. They're often broken on some of the loose ones, but he also comes with a grapple gun, and there is the grapple gun. So obviously in the movie he would shoot that out and then climb up to any high level areas like he did with Vicky Vale.
Hold on.
But he also comes with his trademark Batarang. I don't know if you can just see that because it's black against black. So there we go. He comes with his Batarang. Now you'll notice there's a loop on the Batarang. Now you may recall in the advert, you can actually see him flying down a zip wire, and the zip wire is hooked through the Batarang because there's a loop on there, so he can use that to slide down the wire. Now in my head, that would have made much more sense to put the loop on the grapple gun and have him sliding down the wire with his grapple gun in his hand. But they've used the Batarang. I think that was a little bit of a strange decision, but there we go. And the only other thing that I think is frustrating is he's only got one hand where you can put something in. So you can put his Batarang. I actually think his Batarang looks the best in the hand, but his other hand is just a fist. And I thought, well, surely it would have been good to have an accessory in both hands, but you can only put one in his hand, so the grapple gun just sits on the shelf next to him. But absolutely wicked figure. I'm so glad to get him into my collection. But what is Batman without the Joker? And there we go, Batman's arch nemesis. I picked this guy up at NEC and I absolutely love him. And again, very much the same card back. All these card backs are obviously the same with different images, but I just love that gold. When the light hits it, it really shimmers nicely. And this is in great condition. I picked this up for an absolute steal. I got this for £30 at NEC. And I absolutely love it. The card back is in awesome shape. Really happy with it. And obviously we've got the Joker inside there. Some funny accessories and a strange play feature. We will get to that in a second. But I absolutely love these cards. And once again, it's beautiful on the back. And there we go. So the colour has held up much better on this one. And again, very much like the Batman one, we've got a few images down the side showing other things that are available in the line. We've got the pop at the bottom there. We've got the Joker. Slightly different version, actually. I don't think that's the same version as the one we've got in the packaging, so maybe a slight prototype version on that one. And then, as the other one, we've got a little bit of a bio, a paper cutting from the Gotham Globe at the bottom there. And I just love these cards, I really do. So that's the Joker, folks. Let's get him out of his plastic prison and take a look at him loose. And there is the Joker, folks. And straight away, there are a few things that I'm going to say about him. I actually think once the Joker has got all his accessories, I actually think he's a really nice figure. The colour scheme they've used on him is very accurate to the movie, especially when he's in the museum with Vicky Vale. The colours match the outfit. It doesn't match the hat, of course. He's got a big floppy hat on in the museum. And we've given him a very, very oversized hat, which actually, once it's on, doesn't look that bad, but it is a little bit too big. Obviously, his face sculpt is nothing like Jack Nicholson. We've got that huge, huge red open mouth smile, which I think is a little bit exaggerated, but then again, this is the Joker.
Do I look like I'm joking?
And then for some reason, they've given him a cane. Now, I don't recall at any point Joker using a cane in the '89 Batman movie. I would have thought surely it would have been much better to give him something like the huge revolver that he uses to shoot down the Batwing. But they gave him a cane, bit of a strange decision, but they also give him, now I think this is actually a really good play feature, but very strange how you operate it. So if you recall in the movie, when they're in the museum, he unveils Alicia and he's actually disfigured her with his acid from his orchid, and he's calling it his art.
I'm no Picasso, but do you like it?
And we've got that feature with the figure, but what you have to do is you have to fill this little yellow container here with water, and then you plug in the end of this wire into his back, just there, you can see. And then you squeeze the container and it squirts out water. Obviously, you know, we're pretending that it's acid. But I just think to use that play feature, you've got to stick this in there, and it's a real faff. And I don't know if any self-respecting kid in the 80s actually played with it like that. Surely there should have been some way to fill in with water and maybe squeeze his leg and squirt it. But you've got to stick this contraption in his back and squeeze it, which I think was a really, really odd decision.
Now you want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts.
But I do like the figure. It does display well, but there are a few question marks over him. But it does display well. Now, when it comes to the Batman figures, they actually only released 3 figures on the Batman card. So we've got Batman, we've got the Joker, and the only other figure we got on the Batman card was one I don't currently have, and that was Bob the Goon. And it was just very, very strange to only get 3 characters in the line when there was other characters that could have been used, such as Commissioner Gordon. We could have got Alexandra Knox and Vicky Vale. We could have got people like Harvey Dent. We even could have got someone like Alfred, even Jack Napier before he became the Joker. And I just thought it was, you know, okay, you maybe accept that there wouldn't be a huge amount of playability in some of those figures, but figures nonetheless. We only got 3 figures in this line, and even with Bob the Goon, even though it is actually quite a cool figure, I really do like it. Bob's play feature was he had like a karate kick. He had a button on his back and his leg would kick up. Now, that mechanism would often weaken over time, and a lot of Bob the Goon figures you find now have got his leg in the permanent up position. So no longer can you use him in any kind of play. When it comes to playtime, he can't even stand on the shelf, and it renders him completely useless.
Bob, done.
But yeah, they were the only 3 figures we got in the Batman line. So if you wanted a figure or other figures that would fit in with this line and fit in with these characters, you had to get them on a DC Comics superhero card, and it was just baffling. I mean, the next few figures you're going to see would have worked so well on a Batman card. Now, I know you can argue that they weren't in the '89 Batman movie, but it would just make so much sense to put the next few characters you're going to see on a Batman card. This one, for me, being the most obvious. How can you not have Robin on a Batman card? But if you wanted Robin, you had to get him on a DC Comics Superheroes card, and essentially, as you can see, it's the same card, just a different logo on it with the image, the same background, that lovely gold background, and a slightly different colouring with the stars and the stripe at the top in red instead of purple. But these would have worked so good on a Batman card. But this is actually one of my favourite cards. I think the image of Robin is fantastic. I think the colours work so well, and the DC Comics logo works well on the card, but surely this has to go on a Batman card in my opinion. But look at that card back. This one is in great condition, and I actually picked this up for a bargain. I got this for £14 on eBay, so I was really pleased with it. Boy Wonder in his plastic bubble. We've got a Batarang that comes with him there. I actually think that's quite cool to have a Batarang with him, and he has a grappling hook on a rope as well, but just very cool. And as we spin it round, I mean, look, even the backs of the cards are virtually the same, exact same design, slightly different colouring, but just looks great. And again, we've got some different figures down the side, so we've got some of the villains and some figures from the other line. So we've got Wonder Woman, Superman and Lex Luthor at the top there. I'm not going to pick those up. I'm only interested in characters that are connected to Batman. So Mr. Freeze is one that I've got to pick up yet, but these card backs are just so good, and I really do love them. So yeah, this one is Robin, better known as Boy Wonder. So let's get him out of the packaging and take a closer look at him loose. And there's Robin, folks. And personally, I actually really love this figure. Now, I know in the Batman world, Robin doesn't get a lot of love at times, but I just think this version of Robin is really cool. Now, if you know your vintage figures, you'll straight away recognise that this guy has basically just been recarded from the Kenner Superpowers line. It's basically the same figure, just on a different card. They did that with a few of these figures that you're going to see. Some were exactly the same, some had slight variations in the figure, but I love this guy. And I quite like the fact that they give him a Batarang. I think that's a really cool accessory to give Robin. It has got the loop in the Batarang again. So, considering he's got a grappling hook and rope, again, would it have not made sense to make sure that you could fashion this hook in a way that could grapple onto a line and slide down with the grappling hook rather than the Batarang? I don't know, it just makes sense to me, but I do like this figure. I think his yellow cape works well, that snap-on style cape, and I just think they've done a really good job with this. I really like Robin loose. I just think it's a great figure. Yeah, so really happy to have him in my collection. But, like I said, we've got certain other characters that could have been on a Batman card that personally I think should have been, and the next one is no exception. Alright folks, and now we move on to Edward Nygma, or better known as the Riddler. And again, I do like this figure. I think it's a little bit naff with the accessories that they gave him, but I will move on to that in a second. But again, that beautiful card, the same card back that we've been looking at, they're all the same, that lovely gold background. I do like the image we've got of the Riddler, but I really don't like the accessories they give him. So obviously a lot of the other guys you get with Batman, you get the Batarang, you get the grapple gun. With Robin the same, with Joker you get the hat and his cane. With this guy you just get some folded up bits of paper with some riddles written on them. What kind of naff accessory is that? Now I don't know what else they could have given him, you know, answers on a postcard if you think of something better, but that's just naff, isn't it? I mean, how would you put him on the shelf holding a couple of bits of folded up paper? And there he is on the image. I do like the image, but it looks like he's doing homework or something, doesn't it? I don't know. But again, I do like the look of him. I think that jumpsuit looks great with all the question marks on, and the card, of course, is superb. And then on the back, again, these cards are superb. I really do love them. But once again, we've got all the guys down the side. We've got the Riddler there. Now, he's holding a bit of the paper in his hand in that image, and he's got a few bits scattered around him at the bottom. I don't think it looks very good. I don't think it would look good displayed that way. I think it would just make your shelf look a mess, like you haven't tidied up or something. But again, we've got a little newspaper cutting from the Gotham Globe at the bottom, the pop at this side, and I just think the backs of these cards look beautiful. So that is the Riddler. Let's get him on the table loose and take a closer look at him. So there we go, folks. There is the Riddler loose. And as much as I do like this figure, I like the look of the figure. I love this sort of green jumpsuit with his purple gloves and all those question marks all over him. Reminds me very much of the 66 style Joker from the Adam West show. But the one thing that I find really frustrating is I love to display my figures with accessories on the shelf. Now, of course, the Riddler only came with those naff sort of riddles on the really flimsy paper. Now, obviously, they're included in my carded version, but I didn't bother getting a set for the loose one because he couldn't hold them on the shelf, and even if he could, it would look a bit crap, wouldn't it? Just stood there holding a load of paper folded up in his hand. So he just stands on his own without any accessories, which sometimes I just think he looks a little bit out of place, but I really do like the style of figure. I love all those question marks all over him and that sort of green jumpsuit. I think it works really, really well. So I'm really pleased to get this figure in my collection. But let's move on to the last one. And the final figure in the collection so far is the Penguin. Again, on that beautiful card. I don't think it detracts with the different logo and things like that. I just wish he was on a Batman card. He would look so much better. But yeah, really pleased to get the Penguin. Got this from NEC as well. Big shout out to Adam Berry, because he did get me a good deal on this. He did my bargaining for me. I kind of don't like doing that. I get a bit uncomfortable with things like that, with trying to haggle for prices, but Adam did it for me and got me a great price on this guy. But love the image on the side, and a really cool accessory as well. So he comes with his umbrella, but it's a missile firing umbrella as well. So I was really pleased to get this into my collection. And then the same as all the others on the back, again we've got an image of the Penguin there. He actually wouldn't stand up. If I had the umbrella at that angle, he wouldn't stand, so that's a bit misleading. But all the guys down the side, still got the price ticket on actually. And same as all the others, we've got that little cutout at the bottom from the Gotham Globe with a little headline for the Penguin there. I do think that's a nice little touch, that, which you can cut out if you wanted to keep them. And then the pop on this side. But yeah, love these card backs and just think they look so nice on display. Okay, so that's the Penguin, folks. We've looked at the card back. Let's get him out of his plastic prison and take a look at him loose. And there he is, folks. Out of the packaging, we've got the Penguin. Now, I actually think this is a really cool figure. Again, identical from the Superpowers version. The only criticism I would have is that umbrella, sometimes when you've got it holding it in his hand, it tends to want to fall out because it's quite top heavy. He's got little tails on the back of his jacket that you can just see there. They often fall out and it winds me right up. They often come out. And his umbrella is actually meant to fire at the top. It's meant to fire out as a rocket. Now, I believe it's complete, but I can't get the umbrella to fire, so I can't show you that on screen, I'm afraid, guys. I don't know if there's a spring missing or something inside it. The mechanism and everything seems to be there, but I can't figure out how to fire the umbrella as a missile, so I'm sorry I can't show you that, folks. But I do like the sculpt of the Penguin, but he can become a bit difficult to stand on the shelf with his umbrella because it's a bit top heavy and it wants to sort of tip him up all the time. But really pleased to get this figure. I do like the Penguin, especially Danny DeVito's portrayal in Batman Returns, but very nice figure, and again, happy to get him into my collection. Hopefully I will pick up a couple more that I'm still missing, which I will explain to you before I finish the video. But let's get everything back on the table and we'll wrap up. And there we go, folks, everything back on the table. I've just managed to fit everything in, and you will have noticed that Batman right at the back there, Steve was even good enough to send me that in an acrylic case. So yeah, really pleased with that. So once again, thank you, Steve. I really do appreciate it. If you don't know Steve, everyone, he's a huge member of our community. Doesn't have a YouTube channel, but does have a fantastic Instagram page, so make sure you check that out. Every so often he does run some amazing claim sales as well, some real bargains on there. The price you see is the price you pay. I guarantee if you like your vintage toys, check that out. You will find something that you will like. Again, I will leave a link in the description. But I did say at the beginning of the video that I've got 2 thank yous to give, really, because I've got 2 gifts this week. So you may have noticed in the intro I was sporting a very nice brand new Skeletor t-shirt, so I've got to give a huge thank you to our Skeletor over at Skeletalk. Again, guys, if you don't know the channel, check it out. It is the internet's best kept secret, so you might not, but I know Skeletor will love to have you. But not only did I get a lovely t-shirt, I also got some merch. I got some fantastic Skeletor stickers, and I also got some badges, even with a Monkey Boys Toys badge thrown in there from our Dave over at Monkey Boys Toys. So if you don't know both channels, please make sure you check them out. Skeletalk on YouTube and also Monkey Boys Toys. Fantastic channels, very funny, and I know Dave and Skeletor will be very grateful to have your support. Again, both links will be in the description. So there you go, folks. A couple more figures still to get. I've got to pick up Mr. Freeze, Bob the Goon, and Harvey Two-Face, but they will be coming very soon, and then as far as I'm concerned, this collection will be complete. But very happy to have these figures in my collection. So I hope you enjoyed it. You all know the drill by now. If you're new to the channel, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. It really does help. And if you're one of my existing viewers and subscribers, thank you very much, guys, for sticking with me. I really do appreciate it. Please feel free to leave a comment. I try to read everyone's comments and get back to everybody. And as always, keep collecting, and I'll see you next time.
Get those wonderful toys.